All right, continuing our coverage now of breaking news this morning, Vladimir Putin has officially declared martial law in Russian-occupied land in Ukraine. Occupied land he says he occupies. These regions on your screen are the territories Russia claims to have annexed this month in the southern port city of Kherson. Evacuations are already underway, and you can also see people lining up in boats trying to get out. A Russian official warned civilians on Telegram, quote, "In the very near future, the battle for Kherson will begin. Russia has partially occupied that city since March, but Ukrainian forces are now advancing." Russia's military commander in Ukraine told state media that the situation is tense, to say the least. The White House and Western allies also accusing Iran of providing Russia with military drones being used against civilians. The U.S., Britain, and France are planning to discuss this issue during a closed-door UN Security Council meeting that is expected to happen later today. Let's dive into this with our next guest, national security and political analyst Paul Rieckhoff. He's a former U.S. Army infantry officer, veterans advocate, author, and also the host of the podcast Independent Americans. Paul, always great to have you on. So this news that martial law has now been imposed in these 4 annexed regions of Ukraine. Russia does not control these areas by any means globally from other world leaders. What does this mean? How does this play out?
I think it means that Putin's continuing to do dangerous, reckless, and deadly things that really are influencing the battlefield in ways we haven't seen before. But the bottom line here is you can't declare martial law in an area you don't control, that you've illegally annexed and that belongs to another country. You don't get squatters' rights in global politics. You can't just sit down there and say, this is mine now, and I'm going to declare martial law. The Ukrainians get a vote here, and we're shaping up to see the next major battle of this conflict in Kherson. And Putin's continuing to bloviate. He's appealing to the Iranians. He's appealing to his own people and trying to set this up in ways that are almost like an alternate reality. Meanwhile, I think there's a humanity of this, Marni, that we've got to remember. Every day in America, we wake up and we look at baseball scores. We think about getting our kids off to school. The Ukrainians get missile attacks. They get drone attacks. Every morning, their civilians and their children continue to be pummeled. Today, again, 5 attacks as we wake up in the United States. Thankfully, their air defense are defending them. But I think it's important for us to understand the humanity. Think about what it would be like for us if Osama bin Laden hit us every day, multiple times a day. That's what the Ukrainians are dealing with, and the humanity of that can't be lost in the midst of all these headlines.
Right. Will we live through the day is the question that they wake up to every single day. Paul, you're absolutely right. Draft legislation indicates that some of these restrictions could be on travel, public gatherings, tighter censorship, broader authority for law enforcement agencies. How does the U.S. and the West respond as we await an outcome from this UN Security Council meeting later today?
I think we would keep with the current course. I think that President Biden and the Secretary of Defense and NATO have been focused on supporting Ukraine and kind of ignoring the nonsense and bloviation and trickery of Putin. We've got to continue to arm the Ukrainians. We've increased the supply of HIMARS, the high mobility missile systems that are very important. Now we're talking about increasing air defense capabilities. And I think that that's the next edge for us to push on. I think that the Ukrainians need to get American Patriot missile batteries. We can increase the number of air assets. We can get them more airplanes. The Ukrainians are asking to shut down the skies. They've been asking for that for months. And I think now is the time for the United States to lead pushing that forward and continue to put pressure on Iran. Now that we know Iran is involved, they're using Iranian drones, you'll see that maybe the Israelis enter this fight, which could be a whole other element. We've got to continue the steady course and understand the Ukrainians are the tip of the spear in defending freedom. This is the biggest battle we've seen since World War II. It's the good fight. It should transcend partisanship, and we should understand the humanity and the freedom of not just Ukraine, but the West is at stake.
Well, and Iran denies that they are supplying those kamikaze drones to Russia. I don't know that anybody believes that to be true. However, sanctions are on the table against Iran. Does that make a difference?
I think anything makes a difference right now, and we've got to pour it on. I mean, Iran denied supplying weapons when I was getting blown up in Iraq, too. I mean, this is the standard line from Iran, but you see this alignment between Iran and Russia that is becoming deeper and I think becoming more desperate, and it may be part of this showdown that we face down the line. We've also got to remember, China's watching this whole thing and saber-rattling a bit around Taiwan. So it's a very dangerous time in the world. We need the unity of NATO. We need the unity of the American people. This is one issue that many voters voters are probably not thinking about this fall, but they should be. We need leaders who are steady, who are calm, and I think also more leaders with national security experience. We need folks not just in the White House and Department of Defense, but in Congress who understand these issues, who've had their own boots on the ground, who've had their own kids' lives in jeopardy, and that's an important part of making sure America has strong, firm, and thoughtful leadership.
I'm glad you brought that up, Paul, because you call it the good fight. And an Axios article I was reading this morning pointing out Kevin McCarthy's recent comments to Punchbowl News about support of the fight in Ukraine. He said, I think people are going to be sitting in a recession. They're not going to write a blank check to Ukraine. They just won't do that. How concerned are you that if leadership changes, that we'll be sending less money, less weapons to Ukraine in this fight?
Very concerned. But I think Kevin McCarthy is out of touch with the American people. We've seen that the American people continue to support the fight in Ukraine. They understand the urgency. They've supported the increased funding from Biden, billions after billions, because I think most Americans understand this is bigger than us. You know, this is, again, a fight like we saw in our grandfathers fight against the Nazis. I think Americans understand the stakes here, and I think that will transcend politics. Now, Kevin McCarthy may lead a push in Congress to withdraw funding, and I think Putin's counting on that. So I think we've got to understand there are some folks in here with their rhetoric and even with their political actions that are supporting Putin more than they're supporting our own national defense. This is about the defense of the West and all of our allies, and we've got to stay firm. We've got to be responsible in our language, and that should be transcending partisanship. And I think veterans especially are going to lead that conversation in Congress. 196 of them are actually running this fall, and I would expect them to lead a more educated and more experienced dialogue in the years ahead.
Yeah, it's going to be an important discussion beyond the debate stage. Paul, good to have you on. I ran out of time. I wanted to talk to you about Elon Musk and whether he's communicating with Vladimir Putin. Come back and we'll talk about that next time. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.